Well, a local deputy lying on the ground on the side of I-94, unresponsive, not from a bullet or a knife, but from a plume of white powder.
And that deputy is talking about all this for the first time with the I-Team's Courtney Garish. And this has become one of the biggest risks now for first responders, Courtney?
It has, and we're talking about fentanyl. Even the DEA is calling this drug a significant risk for people who already face so many dangerous situations every day on the job.
That's how I was going to die, was right there on the side of I-94. Not from a gun, not from a knife, from some weird little powder.
A routine traffic stop turned into a lesson in fentanyl for this Waukesha County Sheriff's deputy and her partner.
It actually almost sideswipes another car.
It was the end of February, around 9 p.m., when Deputy Sarah Krelevitz pulled over a driver for weaving.
He was very jittery. He wouldn't look at me.
She and her partner, Deputy Sam Weinkoff, ended up searching the car. The driver reportedly told them marijuana was in the vehicle and a gun, which ended up being loaded. They also found drug paraphernalia.
That already makes us think potentially cocaine, heroin.
Fentanyl never crossed their minds, but this lockbox they found in the car would drastically change the course of the traffic stop.
I can kind of tell there's something inside.
The deputies couldn't get it open, so Krelevitz tried to figure out what was in it.
What sound does it make when I tip it? This plume of white smoke just comes out of it.
And then Krelevitz says she started feeling a tickle in her throat. Less than a minute later, she was completely out of it.
What was wrong with me? Why can't I function?
The last thing Krelevitz remembers were the lights on her squad.
Laying there watching them get slower and slower and slower and slower.
She wasn't able to talk to us anymore. She wasn't responding to what we were saying.
That's when a trooper at the scene grabbed his Narcan. Krelevitz came to in the ambulance. She later discovered she was exposed to fentanyl. That led to some quick changes in the department.
I always put gloves on.
All Waukesha County Sheriff's deputies now carry fentanyl-resistant gloves and masks to better protect them in a search.
You could just move something and potentially inhale it.
Deputy Ben Kajawa says fentanyl has also changed the way he does his job.
Now it's become more, when we search vehicles, more slow, taking your time, making sure that you're not rushing through it.
It only takes 2 to 3 milligrams of fentanyl to cause a severe reaction or even death. That's the same amount as 7 grains of table salt.
You never really know what you're dealing with.
In the last year, the Sheriff's Department also looked at how it handles evidence and added this vent system to reduce the fentanyl exposure risk.
We just take the step further to wear the goggles and the mask just to be safe.
Detective Christina Rarick says anytime she's testing drug evidence, there's the potential for fentanyl.
To always assume that there's something contagious or something that can harm you.
Another 262 copy en route.
Both Krelevitz and Weinkoff feel some good came out of that traffic stop, not only getting the drugs off the street, but identifying the fentanyl risk that is now all too real. And Deputy Krelevitz told us more law enforcement departments are now looking into carrying Narcan because of what happened to her. She says if she had to wait for the ambulance to get the Narcan, she doesn't believe she would have made it.
Can they figure out a way for someone to dose themselves if they're riding solo?
And that's kind of in the works, what they're doing now. They're looking at ways to make it easier for deputies to give themselves that dose. They carry a little tube of Narcan in their squad, but they have to measure it out, and it's given through a nasal mist. So they're looking at a 1-dose option now, the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department, if they have to give it to themselves.
Dangerous times.
Makes sense. Courtney, thank you very much.